measuring are the people that we're interacting with in social, whether they're current customers or prospective customers, are they doing things? Are they behaving in a way that either makes us money, saves us money, or both? We've got to quit identifying and collecting fans like baseball cards and start activating fans.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the challenge with counting, easy to aggregate metrics like that is that they're not contextual. Counting itself is not really effective measurement, and a singular data point like how many Facebook fans you have in itself is actually not really useful. You've actually got to take data points like, okay, if you're going to have your Facebook fans, if you're overlaying that with your email database or your CRM database or your web analytics, you've got to have a couple of different and relevant related points of information in order to be able to track those behaviors and outcomes. So just counting a pile of people without understanding why those people matter is a cheap way out of measuring, and you're kind of selling your own program short if you don't understand what that collection of people, fans, followers is actually doing for your business. And they're maybe a little bit trickier to measure, but it's really important to not look at social media alone as just a lead generation vehicle. There are more outcomes to that are also important.
Yeah, and a cost savings, service opportunities, things like
that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I look at things like, what kind of traffic do you get on your website from your social media activities? And if you're engaged in a paid search program, what is the equivalent value of that from a cost per click basis, right? So if Twitter is generating 1,500 visits a month for you and you're paying $2.10 a click, right, that is, in theory, an equivalent value of $31.50. Same thing with market research, right? If you're spending a bunch of money on focus groups and market research and you take that offline and then you put it back onto your Facebook page or something like that and do research in social media, that's a cost savings. If you can do your customer service more efficiently because you're answering customer issues on Facebook and Twitter, that's a customer savings. A dollar saved is a dollar earned. And we forget that sometimes because we want to force social media into the get net new customers lens. And the reality is in that, there is no case study that necessarily applies directly to your business. Just because Twitter works for me and works for you and works for Amber and works for HubSpot doesn't mean it's going to work for your ball bearing company. There is absolutely no advantage to beating your customers to the punch in social media. This idea of we'll create some sort of social presence and our customers will show up is a really inefficient way to do business. You need to be involved in the venues and platforms where your customers are involved. That is by far the better approach. And if your customers are not on Twitter, then maybe you shouldn't be on Twitter other than perhaps as a listening and customer service tool.